FM.
Stay here with you. You are a rainbow sun. I am a lucky guy. I am a lucky guy. You are my favorite song. I am a lucky guy. I am a lucky guy. I am a lucky guy. Same. Your love is constant. You've never lost it. Your voice is calling out my name. It makes me miss you, even when I'm with you. Oh, nobody wants to go it alone, and I just wanna stay here with you. I am a lucky guy. I am a lucky guy. You are my favorite song. I am a lucky guy. I am a lucky guy.
A speedy welcome to the show for everyone. This is Extra Speed on Asking Radio 98.5 Speed FM Makudi. I am King James YiYE. And this morning I am with
Tahav Agerzua.
And of course we also have a guest here, but let him introduce himself.
Good morning, listeners, and it's good to be here. My names are Raymond Agibi. I'm a counselor on drug addiction management.
Right. So you are not wrong to say good morning, viewers or listeners, because Asking Radio is streaming. As a matter of fact, we're streaming live on YouTube, and anybody can go and see what we're doing on YouTube as well. If you come to Facebook on our page, you can also see what we're doing. So today is obviously the 26th day of June 2024, and as you must have heard on the news, it is International Day Against Drug Abuse and Illicit Trafficking, otherwise known as World Drug Day. So on Extra Speed this morning, we're trying to see how we can ensure a drug-free world, because that's the role of everyone, including us here at Asking Radio 98.5 Speed FM. Catch us if you can. So you can call and tell us perhaps you've been involved in drug abuse and you are out of it, how people can get out of it, if you have ways of making sure that people can learn from your experience. For instance, our guest here is somebody you heard on the news. He's a drug counselor, but he says he has been recovering himself from drug abuse and he blames it from the home. So let's start with you. It's quite interesting, because I think it's something that most parents do without knowing. Let me play what you said on our news here, and then we'll pick on that to ask you. As Extra Speed on Asking Radio, we have not asked you to call yet, but you can start calling when you hear us talk. 08084 275464. Let's listen to Raymond Agibi.
Parents these days never had time for their children. That is where it starts. Now, let me tell you something of interest. I was into drugs myself. I started using cannabis. Cannabis is the one we popularly known as Igbo, weed, Tujo in Tiv language or whatever name they give to it now. At the age of 11, prior 2-3 years before then, I was already on alcohol. My dad was a soldier. When he comes home, he feels that for him to show me love is to take part of what he is enjoying.
Right. So at the age of 11, you said that you were into alcohol already, and 3 years earlier, your dad was giving you some drink. I can imagine a military man, giving you some sort of hard drink, meaning that you were about 8 years old. So tell us about this. Your father thought it was love, Raymond.
Yes. You see, parents have various ways of showing love to their children.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Now, in my own case, I was the first child of the family and a boy. You know how important Africans attach to male child as the eldest. So once he comes home in the evening, no matter what he enjoys outside, that is alcohol and whatever, there's this last bottle he always take at home after dinner. So I will go and buy the drink for him. He will send me, go and get me my usual. I will go get a bottle for him. Sometimes if he's in a good mood, he will say, okay, dancing competition for my children.
Oh, yeah.
Of course, as the senior, I'm always the first. Now, at the end of the day, my award or prize for winning the dancing competition is always a glass of beer. And it became a norm. It became something regular. No matter how late he comes home, I will have to be awake watching TV and waiting for that glass of beer. That is where addiction starts from. So it went on, and we as children, back then in primary school, we had friends that the parents sell burkutu, the mothers now. So in the morning, they leave very early to go and then process the burkutu for sale. By the time we are leaving for school, we will pass through the market. Mama, we are going to school, we have not eaten. If they have not sold anything, there is no money and no food prepared, they will now give us a little out of that burkutu to take as breakfast.
All right. So let me go back to your home.
Okay.
Your dad was doing this, but out of love, he didn't mean harm. But at some point, did he ever think that, come on, what I'm doing, this child is going to be addicted? Do you think he ever, or do you think now he ever thought that way?
He never thought that. It was at a point he started noticing I was into cannabis.
Yeah.
That is where he started having issues with
But
me.
he wasn't smoking in your presence?
No.
Right.
He didn't smoke cigarettes. He didn't take anything apart from alcohol.
Right. So, Tahav Agerzua, you've gone to interview other people, including him. You are a parent as well. And what he is saying from this experience is something that can easily happen, because sometimes I also just easily get tempted to feel like, come on, my children, if I don't drink, but I have a bottle of spirit that maybe stays there like 6 months or 10, because once in a while I just sip. And sometimes you feel like, why not give them? Why not? Do you ever feel that way as well?
No, it did happen in my family as well.
Yeah.
My mom was a brewer of local brukutu, this local beer, and it was natural for me to drink in the morning. And my father was also a consumer of the brukutu product, and he was a policeman, and he kept gin at home, what we call ogogoro now. What prevented us from taking the ogogoro was that anytime we took it close to our mouths, the power of the thing will hit our
Brain straight.
and we couldn't take it. But he took it as normal. So in most families, consuming alcohol is taken as a normal thing, without any thought for the fact that the thing could become an addiction. So his experience is normal. I too had problems with alcohol It's now that I realize that it started from the home, from the family.
Right. So it's extra speed, and you can call now 0808 427 5464. We're trying to ensure a drug-free world, beginning here as we mark International Day Against Drug Abuse and Illicit Trafficking, but it's just shortened to World Drug Day. So call now 0808 427 5464 if you have a story to tell and you are a reformed addict, maybe a reformed drug addict. You can share your experience so that somebody can find a way of getting out of it, because I think getting in is not difficult.
No, it's getting
It's getting out.
Getting out, yeah.
Right. So Raymond Agebi, your experience now, you are counseling. What are the things that you are saying in young people? What are the reasons that you think they're easily going into drug abuse?
Yeah, there are a lot of reasons. Sometimes when you have a client, the first thing they will tell you is, I'm a graduate, there's no work, idleness, this and that. I say, well, you have a point, but what about a child who started using at the age of 11? I'll now start bringing my own experience. So there are a lot of things. You see, everything is from the mindset. One thing people don't know is this. Every human being have this addictive gene in him or her, but can only be activated when you use these substances. So addiction doesn't know status. Whether you are a clergyman, whether you are a professor, whether you are a general in the army, whether you are a wheelbarrow pusher, a woman, a man, a child, whatever status you are, the moment you use substance, you will be an addict. And if you look at the meaning of addiction, it says it is a compulsive, chronic, progressive illness characterized by preoccupation, loss of control, and relapse.
It simply means once you go into it, it's hard to come out.
It's hard to come out.
Right. And they say you are addicted.
Yes.
I'm addicted to radio, but I don't think that's a bad one.
He told me
Yeah.
something that was surprising when we met yesterday.
Yeah.
He said addiction cannot be cured.
Tell me.
I asked him why. Why did you tell me that?
Yes. Just like I said earlier here that every human being have that addictive gene in him. Now, November this year, we make it 10 years for me being off the hook. But that does not mean I'm cured. I am only managing it because I am maintaining my sobriety by staying off drugs. If by any chance, maybe through friends, excitement, or whatever, I decide to test a little, just a glass of alcohol, just a puff of cigarette or whatever cannabis I used to take, I tell you that addiction will definitely wake up.
Yeah.
It's like I'm reactivating it. And it's going to be catastrophic because the period I've not used, I would like to cover it within the short period.
Yeah. So you are a counselor. So what do you do? What do you hope to achieve if addiction cannot be cured? Then what do you hope to achieve?
We maintain our sobriety. Just like the team this year said, investing in prevention. If all hands are on deck and we prevent it, at least 50%, I tell you, the level of addict or people being addicted on substances will drastically reduce.
I think that consciousness that this thing cannot be cured. So if you slip into it, you may not come out of it again.
Yeah.
It's helpful. If you think that the thing now you have controlled it, you have mastered it, it's not it. You can slip into it again. That's the point.
Exactly.
It's just like I used to tell my clients that you come to the rehab, run a program, maybe 3 months or so, does not make you free. Because in the rehab, a residential rehab, you are regulated to some certain rules that will deny you access to these drugs. Then we teach you coping skills, that when you go out there, how to avoid those things like friends, tempting situation, lesser known stressors and their likes. So how do you cope outside there? Because if you are leaving the rehab today, going back to join your family, business must go on for some people. You can't tell a woman to shut down her beer parlor because somebody is coming out from the rehab. No. It's your mindset.
Right. So this is Extra Speed on Asking Radio 98.5 Speed FM Makudi. And of course, it's King James YiYE here. I'm not alone. I am with
Tahav Agerzua.
And we have our guests,
Raymond Aigibi.
Right, so it's World Drug Day, marking the International Day Against Drug Abuse and Illicit Trafficking 2024. And you can call 08084275464. That's 08084275464. If you have anything to say, if you experience anything around your neighborhood, if you've experienced drug abuse yourself, and if you have succeeded in getting out of it, that will be fine to talk about here so that people can learn and we move on. I'm just surprised to see that taking a look at the World Drug Report, released by the United Nations Office on Drugs and Crime, surprisingly, I'm trying to look at, countries in Africa. And cocaine is about 73%. I thought cocaine was not a common thing here, but that's about 73% in men and 73% in men, 27% in women across Africa. That's the most abused substance in Africa. Wow, that's strange, isn't it? Now, Raymond, you also mentioned something that some of your clients, when they come, they give you the reasons that I am a graduate and no job. But honestly speaking, before I even go to Raymond, Tahav, do you think that is a good reason enough for young people to go into drug abuse?
First of all, it's a big lie that there are no jobs. When I hear that, I revolt within me. Maybe there are no government jobs that the kind of jobs that people, when they are employed, even if they work or not, they pay them. Those are the jobs that you don't find. Because there are so many jobs. Look at the radio where we are. There is a lot of room. And we try to encourage the young people to take up the challenges of presentation, of reporting and this and that. And you find out they have no enthusiasm. Maybe the definition of jobs that people look out for is, I wonder. First of all, it is not true that there are no jobs. It is not true.
Yeah.
Maybe the type of things that people define are jobs. So there is no basis whatsoever for someone to say that I've gone into drugs because there are no jobs. No.
I think drugs free.
He thought about mindset. Maybe it's the person's mindset from what they think are jobs.
Exactly.
Otherwise, there are too many jobs. There are more jobs than there are people.
Yeah. So, Raymond, you said that when they say that, you agree with them first. Maybe as a counselor, you have to agree before you give your professional advice. But drugs are not free either. So what do you tell them? Somebody telling you because there's no job. Are they getting the drugs for free?
Yeah, you see, once you come, there's what I call one-on-one first. That is the psychotherapy. I ask you your name, family background, what you do, this and that. In most cases, you see that they don't do anything. I will now ask you, what is your drug of choice? They will tell you what they call ice now, this and that. So how do you sell a quantity that you can take? Some will tell you 2,000, 1,000 days, 3,000 or so, as the case may be.
Okay.
I will now say, okay, how regular or how frequent do you use this drug per day?
Exactly.
Either 2 times or 3 times. Let's put it on the basis of 2,000 naira.
That would be like 6,000.
6,000.
Okay.
And you are taking it every day. Multiply 6,000 times 7. That is for
That's
a week.
A week alone, yeah.
Then take that and multiply it again by 4.
Wow.
That is a month. At the end, you
so
see
that's
that
168,000.
yes, and this is somebody who has no job.
Wow.
No wonder that they
So that
most
is
of
what
them
pushed
steal.
them to
Exactly.
stealing.
Yeah.
Stealing, taking anything that doesn't belong to them. They can pick something in the house, maybe an electronic of 100,000. Once they see some of these people on the roadside with 10, 20,000, they give it out. Money to satisfy their drug cravings at that hour.
Yes.
That is all. And that is why crime is on the increase.
So, Tahav, is that not shocking to you? Somebody who's claiming they don't have a job is spending a minimum of 168,000 naira
Very, very, very
on
shocking.
drugs.
You know, this issue of no jobs, from my own personal experience, I got into the media through interpretation, just volunteer work.
Yeah.
When people, some white men will come and start preaching, and then they call upon me to come and interpret.
Yeah.
So from there, when there was opportunity for someone who knew me doing the interpretation, who set up a vernacular paper, they appointed me, and I started. That's how I got into the media. Your own story, if it started from interest, from
Exactly,
passion to
yeah.
do something that you may think that they're receiving no money there.
Yeah.
But when you're committed to it, so people who say there are no jobs should take a second look, because in an underdeveloped economy, there are so many things to be done. you
Right.
know.
So it's extra speed on Asking Radio 98.5 speed FM Makudi, and of course it's King James YiYE here. I have Tahav Agerzua. We have our guest Raymond Agibi. We are looking at the International Day Against Drug Abuse and Illicit Trafficking, World Drug Day 2024, and we are just trying to ensure a drug-free society beginning here. Raymond, let me ask you, I was trying to look at the most abused substance across Africa, and I looked at the Office on Drug and Crime from the EU, and I'm looking at cocaine and just giving you the statistics in Africa. Some people don't like figures, but let's come back to Makudi where we are now. What is the most abused substance that you've come to know?
Cannabis,
Ikia.
weed.
Media hemp.
Yes.
Yeah.
And if you look at it in another way slightly, alcohol. A lot of people don't believe alcohol is a drug because of its social acceptability. Yeah. Go out now, take a drive around town. You'll be amazed from what you see in drinking joints as early as this.
I remember one governor said Benue people drink from morning till night, and they almost crucified him.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
if you looked closely at what he said, it is true
It's
to
Yeah.
a large extent.
Exactly.
They call
So-
it morning glory.
I see. So that's the thing about governance and politics. So the other one said that they almost crucified him. This administration says, okay, since we can't take you out of it, let's give you.
Let's limit you. It's another wahala.
But people are still doing it. Okay. So now let me just try to put this into perspective. Looking at Ikia Igbo cannabis. They sell it in wraps. It's wraps, they call it.
Yes.
Right. All right. So how much is it? From counseling people, the ones that are being addicted, how much do you think they still
It's
spend?
100 naira. That
Per
is
wrap.
the wrap. And that wrap, it depends on your capacity of intake, Sometimes they package it in this sachet. There's this sachet the chemist people use. They package it there. Some divide it into two
Yeah.
to use. Some take it at once. Some even more. So with 100 naira, you can get a wrap.
So how often do they take it a day?
Some people as often as they get.
Wow. So on average, you have met somebody who can take up to 10 times a day.
Yeah.
That alone is also 1,000.
Yes.
So times 31 days is also about 31,000. So
That is
even
it.
even the cheapest can cost you up to that. So yeah.
Why do you think why do you think that cannabis abuse is the most rampant?
For now, is the cheapest.
Okay.
Affordability, accessibility. Because I went to a woman's house to counsel her son. And there and then, I was seeing cannabis on this boy, telling her, she said, no, that this is bitter leaf.
Okay, the son brought it home.
In the process of counseling him, out of instinct and my personal experience,
Yes.
I insisted that you smoke. He said, no. I said, okay, can you search yourself? He stood up confidently that, this and that. As he dipped his hand in the pocket, bringing it out, 2 wraps just fell on the ground. And now immediately picked before he could do that. I said, Mama, this is it now. He said, no, that this one, she has been seeing him with it, that if she asks, he will tell her that if he doesn't take that, he will not eat well. That is a kind of preventive medicine. And she agreed.
Okay, so the mama gave consent without knowing.
Without knowing that this is it. So not everybody know that if you drop this now, it's not everybody will identify that this is cannabis. So it has to be part of the sensitization.
So you mentioned eyes. So if people who are listening, parents who are listening, how would they identify eyes if their children bring it home? How does it look
you
like?
see, eyes, personally, eyes, I don't know eyes. Yes, I don't know because I just discovered eyes these few years.
Yeah, I've heard of it too, but I've not seen it.
Yes, I've not seen it. But I came across someone one day showing me something like, there's this Ajinomoto stuff of Maggi also.
That tiny.
They are white. It looks like that. So that is what they call eyes. That is what most of these boys now are getting crazy about.
Wow. So it's just like, just slightly bigger than Beneseed.
Yes. Yes.
Wow. And that's what cost 1,000 naira too.
I tell you.
And I was told of that as well, that it looks like just a tiny little piece of
Tiny
sand.
thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I was told that that's how expensive it is.
Yes, but the pharmacology there, the chemical content.
Yeah, they put it into
something
water.
else, yeah.
Wow. Extra speed on Asking Radio 98.5 Speed FM Makurdi. And we are looking at World Drug Day, trying to see if you're listening to us, you're a parent, you are a guardian, you are a teacher, you are a caregiver. Perhaps things are happening just right in front of your nose, as they say, without you knowing. But if you listen to us, you may want to share if you want to. 08084275464 or 08084275464. See that some people are trying to call. When we started the program, they were calling. Now that we've asked them to, they're still trying, but it's not picking. So I don't know. Perhaps that's an issue with the money phone. I don't know. But if you want to call, fine. Try to call again. 08084275464. Otherwise, you listen to us. And I'm trying to see what we have here on YouTube. There are messages there. Of course, I will read that as well when we go on. So, Tahav, you also spoke with Maureen Mgohoahua, as we've heard on the news.
Yes.
Deputy Commander, National Drug Law Enforcement Agency.
Yes.
And she says drug abuse is an alarming issue.
Yes.
But they are trying to fight it. I learned they rehab people as well. But I've heard from the backyard that even people they rehab there, it's still sneaking drugs. I don't know how true that is. Perhaps they didn't ask her. But let's hear what she's saying, and then we move on.
WADA is a preventive measure, which is war against drug abuse. And in the war against drug abuse, there are quite a number of things that we do, like public enlightenment. We go to every place. Because knowing that the drug war is a global thing, nobody is exempted from it. We start from the highest to the lowest. Traditional rulers are involved. We visit them. We make some of them drug ambassadors. And then we ask that they should please talk to the other traditional rulers under them, like the Totiv, the Ochidoma. We have dressed them as drug ambassadors.
Right. So that's what she's saying, and that's the Deputy Commander, National Drug Law Enforcement Agency here in Benue State, Maureen Goahua, saying that starting it at the top there. Now, what I find almost confusing is right under our noses, as I've said, from what Raymond has said, and that boy is smoking cannabis, and the old mama, probably the grandmom or the mom, thinks it is bitter leaf. So, linking with what the Deputy Commander, National Drug Law Enforcement Agency is saying, starting from the top down. I'm trying to see a picture of the Totif, the Chidoma, the other chiefs, but what do you think they actually go down to tell members of their community?
Well, from my experience, when I go to the village, I see that the consumers of cannabis are properly organized into groups. They are known groups. Like during politicking, politicians go to their group to even seek votes.
Wow.
They are well known. I've never come across a case of a traditional ruler calling the people together to sensitize them or to tell them about the dangers of smoking in their hand. But I've never come across it. I think the campaign has not reached the grassroots. It has started up maybe in the middle. I have not seen it on ground.
Right. So, Raymond, people are talking about sensitization, including this one that the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency is talking about, war against drug abuse. They call it WADA. You are a counselor. People take and make deliberate efforts to come to you. But if I go out to do public enlightenment and sensitization, do you think it's going to have an impact?
It will, but with some reservation, because the attitude of our people is very, very, how will I say, it's not good. I'll tell you something. When I came to Makurdi about 2 years ago, how do I start working on this issue? That is, seeing how we can curb drugs in our society. So the first thing I did was I started going around schools, mostly the junior secondary schools and the senior ones. Because personally, I started at that age. That was then. And the world grows every day. Who knows if a child of 6-7 years will start being on drugs now? And we've had stories like that. So I will go to a school, the 5 minutes a teacher will agree to give me from the assembly, no appreciation, no nothing, just okay, till we see again, and that's all. Most schools I discover, they don't have counseling and guardians teachers again.
Yeah, that's true. They don't.
So how do you handle these issues? Now, let's go back to the religious sector. How many of the Sundays in a month do we talk about drugs in the church or the mosque? How many?
So what you are saying is, obviously, you hardly hear that. So you are encouraging them to start from there as well.
You see, the issue of
Exactly,
the issue of drug abuse is affected. It affects everyone, directly or indirectly. Until it hits you, you really know the menace. If you are a teacher, you have learners under you. If you are a religious leader, a clergyman, you have followers in your church or the mosque. If you are a parent, you have children, you have a family, you have neighbors, you have friends, you have classmates. So if everybody plays his role, let's start from knowing that the issue of drug abuse is already a menace and the consequences are enormous. We cannot overemphasize that.
That's very true. Now, the other thing that worries me and worries most parents is to have you see parents, they have tried all they can or they could to bring up their children in the most disciplined way, and they discover that they are addicted to drugs. And it's something that is heartbroken to most parents. So we are talking about preventive measures now. What more can parents actually do?
I think in some cases, for alcohol, it might be easier if the parents know that you don't expose your children. You yourself should be an example. You don't encourage it in the family. Then for India hemp, it's good to monitor your children and closely and know the friends that they keep. If they bring people home or their friends that you don't understand. And the good thing is that you can easily identify someone who takes India hemp if you look closely at them. You look at the eyes, you look at their facial expression, you take a look at them, you will understand that something is wrong. And prevention is better, because when they get into it, the cost is enormous to the family. The things that they can steal at home and destroy, the trouble they will cause stealing from neighbors, and they won't go to school. And the thing is a big problem. It's a big problem.
Okay, so Raymond Agibi, I was going to also ask you, from your experience giving counseling to your clients, are there people who willingly come to you, or they are brought by family members or friends? Do people realize that, look, the way I'm going, it's getting bad, and they come to you on their own, or somebody brings them?
In most cases, somebody brings them. Mm-hmm. And one major reason I discovered was a lot of people don't even know what rehabilitation is.
Right.
So by the time you say, let us go to a rehab.
Just hold on. Let's see what we have. Okay, go on.
By the time you tell somebody that, this is your situation, you need help. Can we go to a rehab? The first thing that comes in his mind is you are arresting him.
Yeah.
You want to take him either to a cell or somewhere he cannot gain his freedom. Mm-hmm. And at that point, he is used to a lifestyle that has no control.
Yes.
So for him now to be regulated or secluded in one place, he will be looking at it as punishment. And it affects them while there, because some of them, they will never pay attention to why they are there. Their own is they talk about their freedom every day.
Wow.
Can you share with us how you became a counselor, how you got out of this?
Yeah. I was into substance, like I said earlier, and my drug of choice was cannabis and alcohol. So I finished secondary school at the age of 16. At that point, with the drug-using lifestyle, I just felt that, okay, after secondary school, I'm a big boy. I can live on my own. I left my father's house, hanging out with friends. Once in a while, if I need money, I sell weed. The popular bar beach in Lagos, I sold weed there for some time, but pressure from the security agencies, drove me away, So, like that, life went on that way. Today this, that this, sleeping with one friend or the other, until I got a job with the breweries. Now, I work with the brewery in a situation in the marketing department that we had access to drink. Even though there are some departments, they'll tell you drinking on duty is an offense, like this, like that, So there was accessibility, affordability, and everything was there. You drink at a time you want, you drink the quantity you want, like that. It becomes a norm.
So how did you get into counseling?
Yeah, I felt sick. Spending 3 months in the hospital under artificial oxygen with some heavy instruction.
Wow.
Injection, spending a lot of money.
As a result of drugs?
The doctor said I have problem with my respiratory tract. The lungs started failing. So when they discharged me, he advised that I should seek help. I didn't know what rehabilitation was at that point. So I made inquiries, and somebody gave me a number that, can I call this number? I called, and the person happened to be the director of the rehabilitation center I went in Jos.
What's the name of the place?
Our Lady of Victory Rehabilitation Center is owned by the Catholic Diocese of Jos. I spent 3 months there. My second week in that rehab, it dawned on me that if I don't stop drugs, I will die. Money played a very important role while I was in the hospital, but it is the grace of God that kept me alive. I used to tell my friend, if money can...
why did you decide to be a counselor?
Yes, I decided to be a counselor because I escaped death. And I see that most people are into drugs now because of ignorance. Now I know. Let me counsel those who don't know. If that's the only thing God spared my life that I'm breathing today, I will do it.
Right.
So the passion in me is driving me to fight drugs at any point I can.
So what is the best place to begin this fight?
The best place to be is from the family. Everybody should own up. If it doesn't affect you now, does not mean it will not affect you tomorrow.
So what are the small things that you think parents should be doing? Those days they said you come back from school, they set your bag and all of that. What do you think parents should be doing every day?
Now, the I don't know if I would say the situation in the country, or we look at it as civilization or whatever. Parents now don't even go into their children's room.
That's true.
You see a child of maybe 11, 12 years having his room, and the parents will not one day go in and say, let me see your room.
It's privacy.
Yes, it's privacy. Issues like dustbin in the house. How many times do you search the dustbin before they throw it away? These are places they hide some of these things.
I'm guilty too. I think I will start searching. Yeah.
Yeah. These are, a child will come in late hour, you are in the sitting room or the bedroom with your wife, other siblings are watching TV. He know that, everybody is busy. Yeah. He will just sneak it into the dustbin, and you will never have an idea that something like that could be hidden there.
That's true.
The following morning, before you people wake up, he has taken it. On and on like that. What kind of friends does your child keep? Do you ask questions? Do you know this family these children come from? Why do they keep late hours? And for a parent to give an instruction in the house that nobody should come here later than 9 p.m. and you are coming back 10, 11. You don't make rules you cannot keep.
Yeah.
It's a bad example. It's a bad leadership. So let's begin to think within us too. We are not doing enough.
Right. Okay, extra speed on Asking Radio 98.5 Speed FM Makurdi and World Drug Day. You see, it hits hard as parents because you assume that you have so much to do. You are busy doing a lot of things. But when these things are let bare to you, just as I said, I'm guilty as well because I don't check anything. But you can see your innocent children and you just assume everything is going on fine. But I think we should do something more. Let's see who we have here. Hello, good morning. If you can hear me, tell us your name or where you're calling from. Right, that's a drop call as well. The network is terribly bad, unfortunately. So we have less than 10 minutes to go. But of course, keep trying. If you are able to get through, that will be fine. So let's also hear from Dr. Comfort Abba, Director at the Unispring of Life Foundation. And let's see what she is saying. That her foundation is trying to, do some kind of programs. Let's hear her.
The investment went in this manner. 1, sensitization of youth in secondary schools, in churches, in other forms of like workshops and seminars.
One thing I see again is it becomes a normal thing. It becomes a routine that, okay, somebody has come to church and my pastor says, okay, somebody has an announcement to make, and then you just stand there and talk, and you go to school. At the assembly, they say, okay, we have a visitor here. I say, good morning, children. Good morning, sir. How are you today? And then you just talk, and then you go, and everything continues. What is wrong? Where are we getting it wrong? Raymond, you can say that or to have.
Like I said earlier, everything is from the mindset. If you know the dangers drug abuse has posed in this community, you will devote more time. we have youth group in the church. How regular do they meet? How regular do you get a counselor on drug addiction management to talk to them? Do you care about their private lives? Some don't even know the homes where these children come from. All they know is Sunday you are in church. Then maybe if you belong to choir or one group that meets once in 2 months. That's all. Then tomorrow when the effects start showing, the blame always go on the child. So if everybody come together, say, okay, let us fight this thing. It's a bottom-top approach. To my own view anyway.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think so too.
I agree with him. I think that we need to look at this issue more
Yeah.
because the devastation is so telling that we cannot afford to just fold our arms. We need to do more.
I think to some extent parents are not folding their arms, but is this something maybe not just doing enough? Because as I said, Raymond made mention of very salient things that we need to look out for.
Yes.
Nobody checks the dustbin.
No.
Most parents don't go into their children's rooms because we're assuming this kind of privacy thing now in the 21st century, and we are not doing those things that we should be doing. So those small things that we are ignoring are leading to this. Then at the global stage, you know, and I know, and everybody knows that the world, the drug cartel is one of the biggest in the world. You hear things in countries like Mexico, other countries, even in South Africa here, and all of that. So it gets to that stage that it's becoming difficult to fight at that global stage. And sometimes maybe you can say children are looking forward to it, like, I want to be there, and all of that. So do you think we are glorifying drug abuse so much that it's becoming attractive?
Yes, I think part of it, our glorification of material things, when we see people with big cars, with material things, and we don't find out, we don't question, you know, it encourages others. Let me be like this other person. So let's take a second look at material things.
Yeah.
Let's question, how did this person get that? How did this come about? Is it all about cars and houses and big things?
Or is it about morality as well?
Morality as well.
Yeah. And then the other thing now that is also happening, I learned, is maybe this is what parents should also know. You know, this sweet candy and all of that. So they're trying to put some of these substances in those candies so that they start with children, you know, innocently taking some of those chocolate and other things, and then they get addicted as they grow. Like nicotine and tar in cigarettes, you know, it's contained in some of those things again, and children are taking without knowing. So perhaps those parents who are just buying sweets, they call it sweet here, right, for children anytime they ask for it, I think they should have a second look. Another thing that baffles me, Raymond, is I am saying this thing and it irritates me as much as it baffles me. You know, when you were growing up, perhaps your idea of ice cream was when those guys had whatever, I call it colored water, and then they put it in the deep freezer and it was frozen and they wrap it and they're selling.
Yeah.
And you don't know the content, or you know it that it tasted sweet or sugary. Do you know that even now, this century, parents are buying it? There's one malam standing in front of a school selling whatever he's selling, and people happily buy for their children, and some parents are even sipping it without knowing what it contains. We have a caller here. Good morning.
King James. Good morning. This is Emeka from North Bank.
Good morning, Emeka. You got through late.
Yes.
Yeah, go on. Yeah.
Yes, I tried your line, but the thing is not going.
No, it's not connected.
King James,
Yes.
like the drug addicts and the drug issues that people are discussing today, I believe that most of our children have been exposed, not like before that you used to see the issue of this India health during those days. Too much of drugs, even to the extent of going to soccer away, to smell the soccer away. It is becoming a thing of the concern to people. But you do know that all these drug issues, when you are looking at it, it is the big bourgeois who participate that give these children more time to do what they are doing. Take, for example, what Buba Marwa is doing. If not because of what Buba Marwa is doing, you know that this country would have come to a drug center within the time. But I call on the government to do the needful. Whoever that is caught peddling drugs, doing one thing or the other, I think such a person, no matter your level in life, should be prosecuted and taken to anywhere that they can take them.
All right.
And at the same time, our boys who take this thing, when they get them like this, sometimes you look at them, they will tell you at the end, if you take them to the court, before you will know it, they are back home again because they have some bourgeois behind them. I think I'm of the opinion that Nigerians should think twice because our children matter. They are the leaders of tomorrow.
Right.
And when they doesn't do what they're supposed to do by now,
Right.
when will they have it? When you buy a drug of 6,000 naira per day, you take it. How much do you eat food? How much do you do things? So we have to do. Parents have to do something.
Thank you,
Community
Emeka.
have to do something.
Thank you,
And
Emeka.
everybody
You
have
called
to,
it. Thank you.
Thank you very much. God bless. Speed FM.
Thank you.
Thank you. God
Thank
bless.
you. Sometimes they don't know whether they should start asking Radio Speed FM. Okay, time is up, but just quickly, maybe from what he has said and all of that, as a way around of what should be done.
And this is a fight that everybody should be involved. All of us should watch out and make a contribution to prevent this menace.
Right, Raymond?
Yeah,
What should be done?
he said, the caller said government should do the needful. Agreed. But if somebody is selling any of these drugs in a community, it's either he was born and raised there, or he came to school there and decided to settle there, or they transferred to that place. So people know him in that community. So if we fold our arms and look away, the menace will continue. Let's expose these people. Don't be afraid. You are fighting a just cause, and I think at the end you will be successful. So sensitization. At the end, say no to drugs.
Right, so that's it on Extra Speed today, and all of us have agreed that we are going to ensure Makurdi a drug-free society, right?
Yes.
Before we move any other place. So that's it on Extra Speed, but the fight needs to continue here so that we make our society a drug-free society. See you tomorrow on Extra Speed. I am King James Yiye.